Resuming debate, the honourable member for Eglinton-Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it's an honour and a privilege to rise today to speak in support of Bill C-26, an act to amend the Canada Pension Plan, the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board Act, and the Income Tax Act. Let me outline what the purpose of this bill is. It will, among other things, increase the amount of the retirement pension, as well as the survivors and disability pensions and the post-retirement benefit, subject to the amount of additional contributions made and the number of years over which those contributions are made. It will, I am happy to say, increase the maximum level of pensionable earnings by 14% as of 2025. It will provide for the making of additional contributions beginning in 2019. It will provide for the creation of the additional Canada Pension Plan account and the accounting of funds in relation to it, and it will include the additional contributions and increased benefits in the financial review provisions of the Act and authorize the Governor and Council to make regulations in relation to those provisions. Now let me provide, for the benefit of this House, a number of reasons why the government has put Bill C-26 forward. We are concerned about the long-term retirement security for those Canadians who have worked hard all of their lives and expect, rightfully, that they will enjoy security in their retirement years. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Speaker, that middle-class Canadians are working harder than ever, but many are worried that they won't have put away enough money for their retirement. And fewer and fewer Canadians have the workplace pensions based on defined benefits or defined contribution plans to fall back on. To help those Canadians achieve their goal of a safe, secure, and dignified retirement in the face of these challenges, the Government of Canada is committed to working with the provinces to strengthen the CPP. Cooperative efforts as joint stewards of the program led to Canada's Minister of Finance reaching an historic agreement in principle on June 20th, 2016 to enhance the CPP, and I dare say that all of my colleagues on this side of the House were very proud of that accomplishment. Now, what will this agreement mean in principle for Canadians? Once it is fully in place, the CPP enhancement will increase the maximum CPP retirement by about 50%. Right now, the current maximum is just a little bit over $13,000. Not enough by most living standards across the country. In today's dollar terms, the enhanced CPP represents an increase of nearly $7,000 to a maximum benefit of nearly $20,000. Enhanced benefits will accumulate gradually as individuals pay into the enhanced CPP. Young Canadians, Mr. Speaker, and this is a group that I know that all members of the House are concerned about, young Canadians just entering the workforce will see the largest increase in benefits. To fund these enhanced benefits, annual CPP contributions will increase modestly over 7 years, starting in 2019. For example, an individual with earnings of about $54,000 or $55,000 will contribute about an additional $6 a month in 2019, an amount that should be manageable for most hardworking Canadians. By the end of the 7-year phase-in period, contributions for that same individual earning that same income amount would be about an additional $43 per month. To ensure that eligible low-income workers are not financially burdened as a result of the extra contributions, the Government of Canada will enhance the working income tax benefit, an existing benefit that is designed to keep people in the workforce and encourage others to join it. Enhancing the CPP will significantly reduce the share of families at risk of not saving enough for retirement and the degree of undersaving. The CPP will always be there for Canadians because it helps to fill the gap for those who do not have a workplace pension plan, and it is a portable across jobs and provinces. Canada's retirement income system provides a balance of mixed public pensions and voluntary savings opportunities to enable Canadians to save for their retirement. The retirement income system is based on three pillars, Mr. Speaker. The first, the Old Age Security Program, which was altered under the last administration by attempting to extend the full benefit and appreciation of that plan to 67. Again, I am very proud to say that among the first measures that this government took was to rescind that extension and to restore the Old Age Security Program to 65, something that was met with great support in my riding, and again, I dare say, right across this country.
Good. Right.
The CPP and Quebec pension plan is the second pillar, and they provide a basic level of earnings replacement for workers. They are financed by contributions from workers, employers, and self-employed individuals. And the third is a voluntary tax-assisted private saving opportunity. Some examples include registered pension plans, pooled registered pension plans, registered retirement savings plans, commonly known as RRSPs, and tax-free savings accounts. Now, individuals and their employers may contribute to these savings vehicles on a voluntary basis. In addition to saving through the retirement income system, Canadians may also choose to draw upon other financial and non-financial assets for retirement income. And these include, for example, financial assets held outside of tax-assisted registered plans, housing equity, and small business equity. Now, let me say a few more words about the current Canada Pension Plan. The CPP is a contributory public pension plan that provides a basic level of earnings replacement. With these revisions, as I have said before, we will see modest increases gradually over the course of a number of years at a pace with which most hard-working Canadians will be able to absorb. Let me say a few more words about why it is that we are enhancing the CPP. As we have looked closely at the situation of Canadians as they approach their retirement, we understand that middle-class Canadians are working harder and harder. I beg your pardon. The Department of Finance Canada has examined whether families nearing retirement are adequately prepared for retirement based on household income and wealth data from the 2012 Survey of Financial Security. Families are considered to be at risk of undersaving for retirement if their projected after-tax income at retirement does not replace at least 60% of their pre-retirement after-tax family income. Although Canada's retirement income system has served many Canadians well, the Department of Finance has estimated that almost 24% of families nearing retirement age are at risk of not having adequate income in retirement to maintain their standard of living. This suggests that roughly 1.1 million families approaching retirement age will not have enough money to maintain their standard of living when they retire. And so, hence, the enhancements, Mr. Speaker. I would just take my last few moments to indicate to the House that recently the Minister of Finance had the occasion to come to my riding of Eglinton-Lawrence to meet with my constituents to speak personally about this historic achievement. And what was most distinguishing about this visit was that we visited with constituents who are on either side of the age continuum. We visited first with seniors to speak about enhancements to the Old Age Security Program to the GIS program. And then we went to go visit with high school students at Lawrence Park Collegiate Institute. And it is truly them where the focus of this program lies, which is in the future, to provide retirement security not only for present-day seniors, but also for hardworking young Canadians. And I am proud to say that by passing Bill C-26, we will have accomplished that goal. I urge all of my colleagues to support it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. Question and commentaire. The honourable member for Kitchener-Conestoga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my colleague for his comments. And in his talk, he's talking about enhancing the retirement benefits for seniors. But, Mr. Speaker, for them to actually have retirement benefits, they have to have a job to contribute into CPP or other retirement plans. And the Finance Department itself, which this government is listening to for advice, or should be listening to, indicates very clearly in their analysis of this bill that it will reduce employment by 0.04 to 0.07%. Mr. Speaker, that's 1,050 jobs per year over 10 years, 10,000 plus jobs lost. How can these people who don't have a job ever hope to retire with a meaningful pension if they've never been able to pay into one? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Eglinton-Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank my honourable colleague for his question. I know that he works hard on behalf of his constituents and brings informed debate to this House. Let me say unequivocally that this government is a government that believes in creating jobs. We believe in creating jobs by supporting Canadians with tax cuts for 9 million Canadians. It was unfortunate and regrettable occasion when my friends across the aisle did not support us as our first measure. We wanted to provide tax relief. My friends across the way often talk about how providing tax relief creates jobs. Well, that was the first thing that we did. We did not, as a matter of fact. No, I see my honourable colleagues are getting excited. It's perhaps because they agree with all of which I am saying. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. The honourable member for Cowichan-Malahat-Langford.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I thank my colleague from Eglinton-Lawrence for his speech. I just wanted to draw his attention to the glaring oversight that is present in this bill, and I'm sure he's already aware of it. The fact that this bill does not include the dropout provisions for child rearing and for disabilities. And, you know, when we first brought this up, we got non-answers from the government, and then finally we had an acknowledgement from the President of the Treasury Board that there indeed was a problem. So my question to the member is, with such a glaring oversight in this bill, why is his government shutting down debate on this bill, and why are they ramming it through before we've had the chance to properly fix the bill?
Honourable member for Eglinton-Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank my honourable colleague for the question. We are not shutting down debate on this bill. As a matter of fact, there are 55 sitting days between September and December. We have allocated a substantial amount of that time for debate on this bill. We have heard from over 70 members from the opposition side. We continue to listen for new arguments, which we have yet to hear for some period of time. But I'm quite proud to say that we have had a robust debate. We will continue to have a robust debate, and I look forward to the contributions from the opposition as to how we can continue to enhance long-term retirement security, and it begins by supporting Bill C-26. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions and comments. The honourable member for Sherwood Park, Fort Saskatchewan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And it is amazing that such a nice guy could say such ridiculous things. He knows that the Liberals have increased virtually every single tax there is that businesses pay. I want to ask him a simple question about this. He says it's about the present. He knows that this won't impact present seniors. He says that it's about the future. But I think he knows, and businesses are telling us, that this will reduce long-term GDP. It will reduce the health of the economy. So if he wants to help people save for retirement, why not empower them through the tax reductions and the savings vehicles that we've proposed, which will create jobs and will help people save for the retirement, rather than what he's proposing, which will kill jobs and, I would argue, certainly not help people save for retirement, but if in any event make it harder for them to do so on their own without government control.
Member for Eglinton-Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And in the spirit of bipartisanship, I agree with the part about me being a rather nice colleague. I have to disagree with everything else that my colleague said, and he knows why, and that's because this government did pass a tax cut for 9 million Canadians. We created a Canada Child Benefit which will benefit 9 out of 10 Canadian families. We have an innovation strategy which will create jobs for youth. We have done we have implemented retirement security which will benefit seniors today and benefit young Canadians tomorrow. So I am proud of all the work that this government is doing, will continue to be, and I look forward to the day that my honourable colleague sees the light and starts to support some of the measures on this side of the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Resuming debate, the honourable member for Timmins, James.